We are very blessed in Houston, in Harris County, to have many elected officials, law enforcement officials who are members of the Jewish people. But there's one in particular that we are inviting tonight to address our congregation, not only because he has an important message for us during this all-important time of year, but also because he's a friend of this congregation. He's a mensch, who's someone who's extremely proud of his Judaism. He grew up in our community, and he's blessed not only with a beautiful wife and 3 wonderful children, but he's also blessed with an outstanding reputation for doing what he can to help those in need, for doing what he can to protect the safety and enforce the safety for all of us here in Harris County. It's my pleasure this evening to introduce my friend and our friend, Constable for Precinct 1, Alan Rosen.
Shabbat Shalom. What Rabbi Strauss didn't tell you is that he's really been going to use this entire weekend for a World Series sermon on Sunday, and he needed a little break. So I'm his break. Tonight I'm going to be speaking about self-reformation. It's a new era to reinvent ourselves. We find ourselves in the habit of commencing each new year with a list of promises, New Year's resolutions. These resolutions, more often than not, revolve around our eagerness to alter, rectify, or simply improve upon aspects we find lacking in ourselves. Yet as the months go by, we find that our determination often wanes, and these commitments tend to go unfulfilled year after year. As we enter a new year and reflect on our yearnings for self-improvement, it's worth noting the rich tradition of self-examination within the Jewish culture. Our faith encourages us to encourage chashaban hashanefesh, a deep soul searching, and Shuvah, the process of returning and making amends. These principles offer valuable insights into our pursuit of self-reformation. However, while we continue the legacy of our heritage, let us shift our focus to the realm of possibilities for potential growth and the power of self-reformation. The definition of self-reformation is the act or process of amending or improving one's character or habits. The act or process of reforming oneself. Our relationships, both within and outside the Jewish community, hold immense significance. In Jewish teaching, the concept of tikkun olam, repairing the world, underscores our responsibility to mend and strengthen the bonds we share with others. It is through repairing these relationships that we contribute to a more harmonious world. The death of my birth mother in recent years forced me to soul search as I revisited the realities I came to understand as a growing child about what it meant to be adopted. As each new year passed, I added a deeper understanding of the struggles of my birth mother and the profound gratitude I had for my adoptive parents. At my core, the experience from those 2 sets of parents helped me transform from the concept of just being grateful to help me transform from the concept of truly embracing the abundant life that I have been blessed to have. As I speak to you today, my message is to mine for the gold in your life and embrace this opportunity to intentionally send your transgressions off and be refilled with whatever blessings you have in your life. But before we do that, we must enter a process of self-reformation. For a long period of time, I never truly stopped to appreciate the power of a question that I'm often asked. People always ask me, how do you do what you do? At the time, all I knew was I was always going to do something I loved, being a law enforcement leader, and therefore I would give the expected response, I love my job. However, I must be honest with myself and say that my journey in this role can seem very unclear at times. The decisions I face daily have a lasting impact on so many people I truly care about. My journey in this role seemed unclear because I was in a world where leaders no longer deliberated on the issues impacting our communities. And when my journey in this role seemed unclear, it is when I realized that everything I stood for that was good could be turned inside out and rewritten for bad. But there was a time when my instructions were very, very clear. I was sitting at my desk one day and I received an envelope addressed to me, marked personal. I opened it and it began with this. Quote, "I appreciated your work to improve the quality of life for citizens of Houston as Constable. I was one of them. You may not remember me, but I remember you. You helped me out during Hurricane Harvey. I chose you because I know that you will carry out my wishes." The letter, ladies and gentlemen, provided great detail of how she took her own life and where I would find her. She claimed in her letter to me that she didn't want to be a burden to anyone anymore. She left 3 envelopes, all with different instructions to me. Every detail was contemplated. As I took a deep breath, my mind was racing, but I took action and followed the instructions from her on each step of the way until I ultimately discovered her as she described I would. The letter is still on my desk today, and God's a reminder to me of why self-reformation is so critical. Although my job is not always clear, it was very, very clear that day. So standing before you, I must tell you that bearing the load of leadership requires self-reformation. And within this process, we must identify the elements, the first being forgiveness. I ask you to think about this. What if you were never given the chance for others to forgive you? Let me ask that again. What if you were never given the chance for others to forgive you? How would our lives be if we knew that the words we use, the decisions we make, and the actions we take, and the time we can't get back? Would we still do the things knowing that our apologies weren't accepted? The process for self-reformation is a guide to knowing this. Life is fragile, and although we touch on forgiveness, I ask that you think deeper through self-reformation to assist us before needing the words, "I am sorry." Second, we must understand how we can reshape our relationships, whether it's personal, professional, or political. However, I often picture liquid as the foundation of what open dialogue looks like. It has no structure, and the conversations are either going left or right uncontrollably. But I have learned when rebuilding relationships, you must remove self. When we remove self, that means our thoughts become second, our opinions become last, our voice becomes meek, all for the sake of just listening. And once we listen, we then can help shape healthy dialogue needed to repair relationships. Third, this is something that I'm still trying to navigate myself, but we must commit to consistency, which is a virtue. But it can also create a lifelong relationship of tapestry. It requires discipline with layers of dedication, perseverance, and tenacity. To be committed to consistency is a journey all by itself. Being aware of my last point is knowing how to stay true to yourself, because in my role, I have the pressure of knowing that any unfavorable action of one of my officers is on me. I also have the weight of knowing that the uniform defines me before my true character does. And with that, I have to stop sometimes and ask, how well do I know myself? And as time progresses and years change, I realize that I knew about myself then is not what I've discovered about myself today. Self-reformation has allowed me to enhance my journey. It also allows me to realize that things I used to enjoy may no longer be enjoyable, or the people I've been around for years have changed, and that maybe I've changed, or the times continue to accelerate and I just can't keep up. I have learned to become self-aware, and I give myself grace, and sometimes I ask others to give me grace. When I enter the process of self-reformation with these tools, for me, it's a peaceful place. In this new era, we stand on the cusp of unlimited potential. Let's not merely reinvent ourselves, but also redefine the bonds that tie us together. Embrace the power of self-reformation, because it's never too late to become the best version of ourselves. While New Year's resolutions might be a symbol of our aspirations, every day offers us an opportunity to change, grow, and mend. Let's move beyond fleeting annual commitments and dive deep into a lifetime of continuous self-reformation, focusing on what truly matters. As we move forward, let our legacy not be broken by promises, but by bonds rebuilt, lives touched, and self-consistently evolving towards greatness, guided by the wisdom of our heritage. On this weekend of Yom Kippur, this is a time to make amends, repair relationships, seek forgiveness for those that have trespassed against you or those that have trespassed against me. Reinvent ourselves and connect more deeply with friends and family. If you don't remember anything that I've said this evening, remember this. If we don't use the time to seek self-reformation, you will lose self. Shana Tova. May this be a year of blessing for health and happiness for your entire family. God bless you.
Well, we already have one wonderful Rabbi Rosen. Maybe we need a second one. That was fantastic. I know how busy you are. We know how busy you are. But we really appreciate not only you taking the time to be here, but to put together such a moving and inspiring talk that's perfect for Shabbat Shuvah. So, Alan, thank you. And again, I meant when I said we thank you for all you do for our community. I know this is one of your spiritual homes, and know that we are there for you as you are there for us. And we wish you and Jennifer and your children and your entire family a Gamar Chatima Tova, good, peaceful, and sweet new year. Thank you again, Alan. Thank you.